part, we saw Ash going on a skid after losing three consecutive battles, third one being to the Olivan City gym leader, Jasmine. This completely shook up his confidence and put him in a tough spot. Now we resume the story. Ash was sitting near the bench looking at the waves. He still couldn't quite comprehend what just happened. He couldn't even bring himself to go to the Pokemon Center and get his Pokemon back. At this moment, he started wondering if this was it for his dream. His thoughts were interrupted by the arrival of Yusin. He tells Ash that he had been on his trail ever since Ash ruined his plans at the burnt tower, and now Ash left his Pokemon at the center, and this is the perfect time to enact his revenge. Ash sends out the only Pokemon he had in hand, Trico, and Yusin sends out his Kadabra. Trico tries its best to combat Kadabra, but to no avail. Kadabra uses Psychic Attack to lift Trico up and slam him down, causing a lot of damage. Yusin orders Kadabra to capture the Trico, but before Kadabra could make a move, Dunsparce swoops in and blasts it with a flamethrower attack. It faces off against the Psychic type and is able to overpower it. Ash theorizes that after watching so many battles, Dunsparce has picked up on a lot of moves and is stronger than a regular wild Pokemon. It connects with a Shadow Ball on Kadabra, almost taking it out. Yusin immediately sends out his second Pokemon, Mismagius, who proves to be much stronger than Kadabra, and Dunsparce struggles against it. They both fire thunderbolts at each other, locking them in a beam struggle. Dunsparce slowly begins to get the edge, however. Just then Kadabra fires a Psybeam and the two Pokemon are able to overpower Dunsparce. Even though it's strong, 2-on-1 is just too much for it. Yusin mocks Ash, thanking him for giving him two brand new Pokemon, them being Trico and Dunsparce obviously. Before they could do any further damage, a Dragonite flies in and takes out Mismagius and Kadabra with a Dragon Rush attack. It's the village elder, and Yusin, realizing that he's outgunned here, decides to retreat for now. The elder tells Ash that he should always stay on his guard to avoid such situations. Ash, however, does not replies and sits down, looking at the ground. He tells the elder that it does not matter anyways, because he will be returning to Blackthorn City. The elder is surprised and asks Ash if he has won all the other 7 badges. Ash tells him that he couldn't even win the badge here, and with this battle he has technically lost all his last 4 battles, and all of them in very decisive fashion. There is no point in continuing his journey. There is just a gap between himself and the trainers who are naturally gifted, and despite working to his fullest, he is not sure he will ever be able to overcome it. The elder asks Ash if he knows how long it has been since he started his journey. Ash tells him 4 months. The elder tells Ash that he has won 4 badges in 4 months. It took Lance to win 2 months to beat the Violet City gym alone, back when Faulkner's father was the gym leader. He goes on to say that the only clan member that Ash is lagging behind right now is Draco, and as for Draco, it took him 2 months to win the badge at Golden Rod City. He tells Ash that he's not done, he's not washed up, he's just burnt out. He has been battling non-stop for 4 months straight, and that takes a toll on the trainer as well as the Pokemon. The adult tells him that he is here to take Ash with him to the Kalos region to run some errands. This will be a chance. This will be a change of scenario that Ash desperately needs. Deciding to follow the elder's advice, Ash sends Pupitar, Gibble, Onyx, and Nidoking to Professor Oak's ranch to rest up and just freshen up a little. He tells Pupitar to look after the group and make sure that Gibble does not cause much trouble to the professor. He keeps Latias and Trico on hand, as he hasn't really battled all that much using Trico, and leaving Latias would be too much of a risk. The next day, they arrive at the Olivine harbor. Ash asks the elder why are they here instead of the airport. The elder tells him that they will go to the Kalos region via the Hoenn route instead of a direct flight, as it does not rush the airplane, to which Ash sighs. As they were waiting for the ship to arrive, they spotted a Pokemon arriving near the shore. Ash identifies it as a Lapras. The elder tells Ash that It looks really old and battle-worn. Ash takes a closer look and realizes that it has a lot of scars on it. And from the looks of it, it also has a necklace around its neck, meaning that it is not a wild Pokemon, but instead belongs to a trainer. It was it was slowly washing up to the shore and looking at Ash and the Elder. Just then few sailors near the dock started to throw Pokeballs and nets at the Pokemon trying to catch it. When that does not work, they send out their tentacles and attack it. Although Lapras looks strong enough to hold them off, it's beginning to fatigue, most probably due to its age. Ash steps in front of the Lapras to protect it. He tells the Pokemon to stay back and rest up. He will take it from here. Although his battling confidence is still not quite there, he would not let an innocent Pokemon be bullied like this. He sends out his Latias who blasts through the tentacles using a mist ball, forcing the sailors to retreat. Ash asks the Lapras if it's okay, and it nods but soon starts to pass out. Ash realizes that it's poisoned from the attacks of the tentacruel. Seeing no other choice, he uses the netball to capture it and takes it to the Pokemon Center to heal. He tells El- he tells the Elder that he will release the Lapras if it's hesitant to stay with him. The Elder replies by saying that Lapras are a very rare species of Pokemon, and judging by the situation, it's better off with Ash. The ferry arrives a few hours later, and they set off on their journey. Being on vacation after so long allows Ash to relax and just have fun, and not worry about the results so much. The next 2 days he just sits on the deck and looks back on his losses. He realizes that he had indeed been pushing his team really hard through these battles and they definitely deserved this much needed break. On the third day they finally entered the Hoenn borders and Ash decided to try his hand on fishing, hoping to catch some Pokemon native to the Hoenn region. He manages to catch himself a Feebas, which is not too high on the prettiness department, but it's his first catch, so he decides to ignore it and captures it using the lure ball he got from Kurt. In his very next try, he hooks in a Gyarados, but before Ash could react or send out a Pokemon, the huge water type dives underwater, taking Ash with him. Ash immediately lets go of the rod and fumbles around the seafloor trying to get up. He finds what appears to be a gem, bright green in color. It grows briefly when Ash touches it. As he was trying to swim upwards, he felt something approaching him from behind, but before he could react, the Elder's Dragonite grabbed him and flew him above. The Elder calls him an idiot for trying to catch a Gyarados using a fishing rod and no Pokemon with him. The next day, as they were sitting on the deck, some mysterious hooded people confronted them. Ash asks them who they are, but they don't reply. They send out Pokemon that Ash has never seen before. The Elder tells him to stay on his guard, and they are Dracloaks, a dragon ghost type Pokemon, and they are extremely quick and pack a lot of power. Latias and Dragonite come out to battle the Dracloaks, but are able to take a few of them out. But out of nowhere, more and more of them keep swarming and overwhelming them. Soon enough, Latias and Dragonite are forced to the back foot and are beginning to get overpowered by the huge swarm of the dragon ghost types. One of the hooded persons takes out a bright blue stone, from which a chain emerges and binds Latias. Ash desperately tries to break it, but it appears to be made out of some kind of energy. Out of nowhere, Salaman swoops in and blasts through the Draclocks and the mysterious individuals, and they almost vanish into thin air. The Salamence is then recalled by someone whom Ash recognizes very well. It's Drake of the Hoenn Elite Four. Drake greets the elders saying that been a long time. He then tells them that the people who just attacked them are the Distortion Legion, the followers of Giratina, the demon dragon Pokemon, and by the looks of it, they are after Ash's Latias. They arrive at Slateford City, and after resting up, the elder tells Drake that this is the trainer he was referring to, as he pointed to Ash. Drake tells Ash that he heard about the problems he has been having with his recent battles, and is going to help and train him, not only for the Pokemon League, but also for the Distortion Legion, who will probably be back to finish the job that they started. Drake tells Ash to reveal all the Pokemon he has on hand, and and tells him about and tell him about the others he has. Ash tells him about the Pokemon at Professor Oak's ranch as Drake takes some notes. He then reveals the team that he has on hand. Ash also tells him that Dunsparce is not his official Pokemon but rather a traveling companion of sorts. Drake tells Ash that as a trainer he must know the role that every Pokemon plays in a team. He tells him that from what he's heard so far, Gible and Pupitar are the Pokemon that have the most potential to carry the team. Onyx, Nidoking, and Skarmory are those who can not only help and predict the opponent's strategies, but also spoil them if used correctly. Feebas, Trico, and Latias are really young and can even surpass, and with the right training, can surpass even the strongest of the Pokemon. And that's when the Lapras comes to play. Drake pets the old water type, saying that she may be old and battle worn, but has the experience and the veteran savvy to help train other Pokemon. And with that, the training begins. For the next 2 weeks, Ash trains his Pokemon under Drake's tutelage, and just like he said, Lapras is a huge help in training Latias, Trico, and Feebas, and the results are better than Ash had ever expected. One day, as they were training together, Drake tells Ash about his own experience of winning the Hoenn League, and how he lost multiple times in his pursuit to be the best. But despite all that, he never gave up and kept trying to do his best and surpass himself rather than someone else. As they were talking once again, they were interrupted by the Distortion Legion. Ash and Drake take their battle stances ready to fight, but are interrupted by laughter. Drake of the Elite Four, what a surprise to see you here. A man steps forward. He had a dragon crown on his head and a psychotic look which personified chaos and destruction. Drake looked at him with an icy cold stare and muttered, Rayoga. He tells Ash to stay back and protect Latias, as this opponent is too strong, even with his increased power. Rayoga tells the Legion to stay back and not interfere. This is the kind of thrill which he lives for. He asks Drake if he's ready to be extinct like the fossil that he is. Drake replies by saying that he would rather be a relic of the past than be a slave to a Pokemon. This statement agitates Rayoga, and he sends out his Hydreigon. Drake sends out Salamence, and the two fully evolved dragon type stare at each other with an killer instinct that can only be described as bone chilling. Everyone nearby evacuates the area as they waited for the inevitable clash between these two huge monsters. Both Rayoga and Drake simultaneously call for Dragon Pulse, and the moves collide in the middle, which creates a huge explosion cancelling each other out. They ram into each other with Dragon Rush attacks. This collision creates huge shockwaves which completely trashes the nearby stalls. Salamence is momentarily able to overpower Hydreigon and bite down on its neck, pinning it down. But Hydreigon uses one of its smaller heads to blast Salamence with a close-range Dragon Pulse, sending it crashing to a nearby building. Salamence is able to strike back with a dual wing beat, one of them landing a critical hit on the Dark Dragon, stunning it momentarily. However, Hydreigon rallies back with a Dark Pulse, which blasts Salamence mid-air, causing it to crash down hard. Seeing that their Pokemon are almost spent, both Rayoga and Drake call for one of the strongest Dragon-type moves in existence, Draco Meteor. The powerful Meteor blasts land on both of the Pokemon, causing super effective damage, but the entire vicinity nearby is in rubbles. But when the dust settles, Hydreigon is the one to emerge as the victor, and some weird energy starts to surround and heal it, as Rayoga laughs maniacally. Once again he uses the blue orb to bind Latias, and teleports using what appears to be a dark hole, but before anyone could stop him. Drake apologizes to Ash and the Elder, saying that he never expected Rayoga to be this strong, Ash asks him where did he take Latias, and Drake replies by saying that he has gone to the southern island, where he will use Latias as a bait to summon Latios, the other half of the Eon duo, and because he is using the powers of Giratina and the distortion realm, he is already there by the means of teleportation. One of Drake's friends, Mr. Briny, arrives onto the scene and tells them to hop on a ship, as they don't have much time to lose. Just as Drake predicted, Rayoga has already arrived in the southern island and tells the Legion to start setting up the traps. Ash and his friends arrive at the mysterious island not long after, thanks to Mr. Briny's experience at navigating. They are immediately attacked by the guards outside the entrance. This time Lapras elects to battle. After helping Latia's train, she had developed a bond with her and would not sit idly by. Although she can't do much in the direct battle, she is able to slow the Dracloaks down by using icy winds, which allows Dragonite and Drake's Flygon to defeat them pretty easily. As they confront Rayoga, he tells them that they are late to the party, and he will soon become the master of the Eon duo. Just then Latios comes dashing in, hitting Rayoga on the and freeing Latias from the chain. He checks on Latias, who is tired after most of her energy was sapped by the chain. Rayoga laughs at Latios and tells him that he walked into his trap, as multiple black holes begin to appear around everyone. From them emerge multiple Dracloaks and the fully evolved Dragapults. He and also Rayoga's Hydreigon, which appears to be supercharged with a dark aura. Drake tells everyone that Hydreigon is borrowing Giratina's energy from the distortion world, and he is not sure even Latios could defeat it now. Latios manages to hold its own against Hydreigon for a for a few seconds, but is getting overpowered slowly but surely. Ash and his friends also have to fight off the Dragapults who are swarming like a bunch of bees. I don't know why he said that. That sounded really weird. Anyway, continuing. Once again, Dragonite and Flygon lead the attack while Lapras snipes at the enemy using Ice Beam, sending a lot of them back into the holes. Hydreigon is able to damage Latios badly with a supercharged Dragon Rush attack, sending it crashing into the trees. A swarm of Dracloaks hold Latios down as Hydreigon starts to open another portal into the distortion world, trying to pull Latios in. However, Dragonite and Flygon arrive just in time to save Latios, as all three of them begin to fight Hydreigon, who is getting more and more energy from Giratina. Ash checks on Latias asking if it's okay, and Latias nods weakly. Ash then picks up the blue orb and tries to destroy it, as this was what Rayoga was using to bind the Eon duo. However, as soon as Ash touches it, the orb began to glow and ascend into the air. It began to transfer a bright aura to Latios and Latias, healing their wounds and powering them up considerably. It's the Soul Dew if you all haven't figured out yet. Now Latios is not only able to match Hydreigon but also overpower it. With a powerful Dragon Claw, it knocks Hydreigon out, sending it back into the distortion world. Latias then joins her older brother as they begin to wipe out the remaining forces. For the first time ever, Latias uses a fully mastered Mist Ball, and Latios uses Luster Purge to clear through the Dragapults. Before they could attack Rayoga, he is pulled back into the distortion world with what appears to be a wing. Before he disappears, he yells at them that this is not over. Latios tries to convince Latias to come with him, but it's hesitant to leave Ash. Ash, however, tells it to go, as this is the only way it can reach its full potential, and he will train to become the strongest version of himself, just like will do in her training. Because the way things are now, Latias is too strong for him, and he will not be able to protect her, and this was clearly evident by the events that transpired today. After a tearful goodbye, the Eon duo sets off on their journey. Drake tells Ash that the main lesson behind his teachings was to help him understand his Pokemon better, and with this act of self-awareness and humility, There is no doubt in his mind that Ash will become the strongest dragon tamer of them all. And guys, that's where I will be ending this part. Sorry if it sounded a little weird and too fanfiction-y, but this what ifs are just all about having fun. So that's why I decided to introduce Rayoga. Because before this, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Dogs are going crazy outside. I don't know why. So, anyways, Latias is not released. She's training. So, so don't go crazy in the comments. She's not released. Just saying. And that will be end of this part. Sorry for the dogs howling. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, take it easy, and God bless.